Hey, it's Phil Ratcliffe with Rebel Financial, and thanks for tuning in again to another one of our live streams. Today we've got Megan Scarbaugh here from Studio 614. Thanks so much for being here, Megan.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome. So a little bit of background. Megan graduated from University of Cincinnati in Fine Arts and also business as well too, right?
Yeah.
Did a little bit of photography and worked as a talent agent before starting Studio 614.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about Studio 614 and what you guys do.
Yeah, so I, for my early college years, always wanted to start a business, and I knew I wanted to start it in the arts. And so halfway through college, I decided to pick up business because it was, I was just thinking, as an artist or managing an art business, I'm going to have to know a lot more about it.
Sure.
And so I walked into the business school, and everyone was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "I'm going to learn about marketing." So I'm really glad that I did that.
You're smart. Yeah.
And
so many people just stay focused on what they're passionate about.
Yeah.
And not adding the practical skill side of it, which it
Yeah.
sounds like that's what you did.
Yeah, and I mean, you could be the world's most amazing artist, but if you can't show people that you are and market yourself as an artist, then, you know, nobody's seeing it. So I'm glad I did that. And then as far as starting the studio, I didn't really know that was what I was going to do long term. It was just the industry started to boom really around the time that I was graduating college. And the paint and sip industry started to boom around 2008, and I was thinking of opening my own.
So how did you get introduced to that? You knew somebody else that had done it, or just been to one, or?
I worked for one in Pittsburgh,
Okay.
and so I worked for them for a couple months, and then I knew that I wanted to open up something in another city, obviously to be respectful to them too.
Sure.
And
so you weren't like competing and taking their ideas. And,
yeah. And so I started to drive to Columbus every weekend from Pittsburgh, which is only about 3 hours. And I started to fall in love with it. Every weekend I would come, especially the small businesses I was seeing and visiting. You know, jewelry boutiques or restaurants. It just seemed like the city was so supportive of small businesses.
Yeah.
And from my research, it was just, it's really a great place to open a small business as like a startup city.
Absolutely.
So
I think there's a lot more progressive crowd in Columbus too.
Oh yeah. And my take on the paint and sip business was that I wanted to start as a paint and sip studio, but then add in Pinterest projects because I personally know how many things I have on Pinterest. You know, it's like a board of arts and crafts, and I never really make them, like a springtime wreath or, you know, this DIY bottle opener. And I know so many other people who were the same way. They've got so many DIY things on Pinterest that they're never going to make. So I was thinking I also want to start a crafting studio.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what it's kind of transforming into slowly, is from canvas paintings to more DIY projects.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
So how much of the people that come are individuals just kind of getting together to do something that you put on versus like the private parties and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's probably even 50-50. Wintertime is our busy season for individual signups.
Lots of holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, individual.
Well, I think it's because it's cold outside and people want to do something indoors.
Gotcha.
Whereas like Ohio State football season, nobody is coming in to paint.
It's a little bit more dead.
Yeah, so so we do have some Ohio State paintings like Brutus or the Shoe painting that are more popular during that season. But January through March, our classes pretty much fill up with individual signups.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what, because I see a lot of your website and your posts and stuff, and I think it's cool, but what is like special and important about, you know, regular people that aren't necessarily artistic kind of tapping into their artistic or creative?
Yeah. So are you creative?
In a technical way. Yeah, I'm like an analytical person, but I think I'm creative and coming up with solutions.
Okay.
But I'm not a very good like drawer
Maybe
or painter.
colorful Excel
I think I did
sheets.
pretty good with my little wave painting that we did when we were there.
Oh,
but
yeah. Did you hang it up?
yeah, we got them hanged up. Both me and my wife.
Oh,
We got
good,
ours
good.
side by side. So.
Well, my fiance always makes fun of me because I like to make my Excel sheets colorful. Like I just like add colors in all the different columns. But so that's my fun creativity. But I think everyday people who might be staring at a computer screen for 8 or 9 hours a day, there's always something that you need to do at the end of the day that's like a form of meditation. Not necessarily yoga or meditating, but like working on a puzzle, or even petting a dog is a form of meditation because it's just good for that side of the brain. And I think that painting is too, because sometimes we walk around our class and everyone is silent. And,
Yeah.
and it's not, when I first started the business, I was like, why is everyone being quiet? They're not having fun. But it's not, it's that they're relaxing.
Sure.
So I think no matter what your painting looks like at the end, it's a form of...
I remember half of the time when we were there, it was really quiet and people were kind of concentrating.
Yeah.
And I read an article a couple months ago, and it was talking about how we're so science and math focused because that's where a lot of the economics come from. But some of the research that they had done that showed is when you mix in a lot of the art stuff into there, it actually helps people do better at some of the left side of the brain things. And even a lot of times with almost like really good ideas like the eureka things, you wouldn't break through without having some almost like different perspective or teaching your brain different ways to look at things versus just solving the problem. So
Totally.
yeah. So tell us some of the popular projects or activities that you guys do or host.
So right now, popular projects are wood palette painting, which is painting like this big wood piece for the door, maybe like your last name on it, or it says welcome. And
on the front door you put it on? Or?
Yeah, on the door, outside or inside. And then string art, which is like nailing nails into a board and then stringing it. Have you seen?
You wanna? We could show a little bit on the computer, so see if we can get the guys to put this up here. It's in the DIY project. So their website is studio614.co or com, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And then when you go there, you can click on the DIY projects right here. Let's scroll down here. Which one did you want me to go?
Yeah, that middle one
that
right there is string art.
Click on it.
So you can see there's nails, an outline
cool.
of nails, and then string. So everybody nails in their boards. The first half hour of the class is pretty loud. And then we all start stringing.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
And then do you have like a number of ones people can choose from, or sometimes do you do unique things, or?
We have printed out templates like the state of Ohio and hearts and plants and stuff like that. But then if anybody wants to do something custom, like a Michigan logo, you know, they'll bring that in, print it out, and then we put it on the board and just trace the lines.
Okay, cool. Did you want to go over any of these other ones here?
Yeah, we're starting to work with coasters and leather.
Candle.
Yeah,
there's the board you were talking about, right there?
Yeah. And we use a lot of stencils too, so it's very easy for beginners.
Oh, that's nice.
So, yeah.
That's a cool one.
And we're starting to work more with leather and making like leather wallets or leather bracelets. And leather's really fun to work with, but it is kind of a little more of a challenging class just because we are like nailing in rivets and snaps and everything like that. So
you like build up the skills a little bit more if you do it more rather than just being able to pick it up real fast at the beginning, right? Oh, there it is, leather cuff.
Yeah. So those are our
Those are kind of tough.
You can, well, they're not too tough. They just take a little bit longer, maybe 2.5 hours. But you're stamping in your own words. You could stamp in your last name or anything custom.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then scarves, arm knitting, glassware painting. So for corporate events, sometimes they'll choose, you know, a couple of these different crafts, and then everyone comes in and makes whatever craft they want.
Oh, so they have a couple different choices.
Yeah, so it's a little different from the canvas painting because it's not like step-by-step canvas painting classes. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
I like the inventiveness of being able to do different things.
Yeah.
Because we were actually thinking about maybe doing 2 different ones with you this year, because we really had fun when we came in, and I got a lot of good feedback. Well, we do like a shooting event, we do a golf event, we do an open house, and then it's just like my wife went to one, she was like, oh, it was really fun, you should do that too. And it's like most of the stuff we do is like more testosterone oriented. She's like, you need to do something that's like more laid back for different types of your clients, or let's say. So we thought we'd do one in the spring and then another one in the fall, and then maybe do one of the craft ones earlier and then a painting one again later.
So do you do one every quarter in the building?
You know, and we sponsor 5Ks. We're trying to get to where we do at least an event every month.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
Cool. So how can people get involved or contact you or join an individual event or do a private party or what? So
yeah, so on the website through we do have like an email inquiry link, so you can just send an email, say what you're looking for. Corporate events are filling up for January through March for sure, and bachelorette parties too in the summertime. Those are huge. So I think because there's a lot of summer and fall weddings. And then as far as individual classes, if you click on the upcoming events tab on the website, that'll take you to just a full-on list of every single
And
class.
you can see them and pick which one you want to. So.
And usually there's like 2 or 3 on Saturdays and Sundays. Sunday mornings are awesome because those are like, you can bring mimosas in, and it's like very relaxing for a Sunday afternoon. So, yeah.
Cool, cool. Well, any last thing you'd like to put out there before we close it down?
Well, we are working on our second location right now, so that's very exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You said that's going to be down near Short North, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that one will have some more options. Hopefully, the goal is to have like 50 different crafts. So
Holy cow.
we're really hoping. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that in case it doesn't happen, but
You sure?
no, we're really
you gotta
excited
have
about that.
goals. You know,
Yeah.
So that is the goal.
Yeah, it is.
Well, good deal. That's exciting. Thanks so much for coming in, Megan. I think what you're doing is awesome. It's needed in our community and society because we just focus so much on how we can just make money rather than how we can tap into being more creative and a better, well-rounded person.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for spending a part of your weekend or end of the week with us. Have a super happy new year. Join us next week. We are going to do a update for some of the things that are popular right now. We're going to go over Bitcoin, the new tax reform, and just kind of reviewing a little bit about market hitting their all-time highs. So I think it'll be a good starter to the year. And again, as always, thanks. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.